Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Asian Vision Dialogue. And today our topic will be about the current situation of the Korean Peninsula, which will be focusing on its situation, the ASEAN's approach to its tension, as well as the possibility of the reunification. And today we have honor to have our guest speaker, Mr. Thongmay David. He is the Research Supervisor of Asian Vision Institute, or AVI. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. David to our program. Greetings, Mr. David, and welcome to Asian Vision Dialogue.
Yes.
First of all, may I ask you a little bit on how is the situation now between the North and South Korea, and what has led the current aggravation of ties between both countries, please?
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank you, AVDs, and Ms. Gita for having me today at the AVDs. And regarding to the question is about the recent tension between the North and South Korea. So we already know that the tension between North and South Korea has been happened since 1950. So the legally, North and South Korea does not have any peace agreement. Only the Korean Armistice Agreement is mean that the two Korea is agree to do the ceasefire agreement, but not the complete peace agreement. So the Korean Peninsula has been divided into two along the 38 parallels. So far, for the last 70 years, the two Koreans has been confronting each other and at high alerts between each other. And in recently, we know that last year during the June and November, North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un announced that North Korea will try to advocate in more military and technological advancement, and recently North Korea has successfully launched the satellites. So it means it is a threat to both South Korea and United States in the regions. So we already know that in November, the North Korea has been calling for the demolition of the Arch of Reunification in Pyongyang, and recently, a few days ago or last week, the North Korean leader abolished the Arch of Reunification. And the tension is not only caused by North Korea theoretical aggressive or some kind of military advancement, because both Korea has been influenced or supported by the major power in the region, namely United States, China, and Russia in the regions. So we know that the tension is not only caused by the two Korea, but the two Korea has also been supported and influenced by the outsider as well. So the problem or the tension within the within the Korean Peninsula is not the domestic, but is also caused by the external power as well.
Thank you, Mr. David. Linked to the question above, could you elaborate more on what are the dangerous scenarios of the current situation of the Korean Peninsula, and how this tension will affect the regional security as well as its development in the country?
Yes, before we answer this question, we should have known about the political ideologies between the two Korea. So far, we know that the North Korea has been influenced, has been adopted the communist political ideology. It means that there is at least one party and only one leader. So North Korea politics is more about dynastic regimes that focus on the Kim family. And we know that the country is run by the planted market economy. So far, there is not so much of economic development or social welfare or prosperous for the people. North Korea namely focusing on developing the nuclear weapons and also nuclear programs and also other weapons or military advancement. On the other side, South Korea, which is influenced by the Western ideology, namely the democracy that focuses on the economic development, market liberalization, and also the diverse diplomatic cooperation with other countries, not only the United States or Japan. So far, we can see that both Korea, they always seem to be able to have the power to confront each other. Because so far they do not have any peace agreement, so both Koreans, they are always on high alert. So the scenario between them, or the war between them, will cause destabilizations in the regions, because as we already know that the East China Sea and the South China Sea is the world top maritime trade route. So any outbreak of war between the North and South Korea also trigger the chain of reactions or security destabilization in the region as well. North Korea, a nuclear power with complex relations with China and Russia, poses a threat to the regions with its ongoing weapons and missile tests. The US, China, and South Korea have adopted a hardline stance against North Korea with a trilateral meetings in August 2023 to strengthen strategic cooperation. South Korea President Yoon also called for a reorientation of the Ministry of Reunifications and increased military cooperation with US and Japan, including the THAAD missile defense system and more military drills with Japan and US. However, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un abandoned its pursuit for peaceful reunification with South Korea by destroying monuments to the Korean unifications. This military and strategic cooperation between South Korea and the United States could fuel tensions and increase military presence in the regions. Again, North Korea has said that it will move more troops and military equipment to the border with South Korea and will no longer abandon to the 2018 joint agreements with South Korea. The Korean Peninsula has become a focal point of the international tensions due to increasing military presence, geopolitical rivalry, and ineffective negotiations mechanisms. Many scenarios can be foreseen and analyzed. First and foremost, North Korea will continue to put pressures on South Korea and the United States through hostile theories, missile tests, and launch into the East China Sea until there is a call for settlement or summit between the two Koreas. Such move would neither lower tensions or nor normalize the situation on the Korean Peninsula, as both South and the United States will continue to increase military presence and missile defense system in South Korea and Japan. Such action again will result in chaotic tensions, miscalculation, and accumulation of hostile behavior on both sides. Secondly, a call to negotiate or create a channel of communication between the two Koreas can be offered or formed, which might result in urgent call between the two presidents. This might serve to reduce tensions while also establishing good communications and respect to minimize any miscalculation or misinterpretation of military actions. The third alternative would be the initiative proposed by outsiders, those who have tremendous influence on both Korea. For example, the United States, China, and Russia that have power to initiate similar mechanisms such as the six-party talks with support from IAEA and United Nations. Talks and open diplomatic relations are essential for promoting trust, confidence, and compromise, and they may re-establish channels of collaboration between governments and peoples in Korea.
Thank you. As we know that the Republic of Korea is one of the members of the ASEAN Plus 3, which includes the ASEAN countries, China, Japan, as well as the Republic of Korea. And we all know that ASEAN cannot take side between neither North nor South Korea. With this regard, how does ASEAN play the role in mediating or contributing to the peace keeping in for the Korea, for the two Koreas?
As we already know that for over 30 years, South Korea is one of the key promoters of peace, development, and stability in the regions, and has always supported ASEAN as a key driver of regional integrations. In May 2017, President Moon Jae-in launched the New Southern policy to further cement the relations with ASEAN and India in the regions. For the Korean Peninsula, ASEAN always call for exercising self-restraint, patience, peaceful settlement, and non-use of force. ASEAN could play as a third-party mediator and reconciliatory for both Korea, as previously done in Singapore and Vietnam. And through these continuations of open diplomacy and negotiations, both Korea could reach constructive compromise and re-establish the line of communication and joint economic cooperation and trade along the border. For ASEAN, support the denuclearization on Korean Peninsula and also wish to see both Korea strengthen the cooperation in promoting peaceful use of nuclear technologies in a safe and secure manner through capacity building, cooperative projects, or policy, technology, and regulatory aspects, including the civilian nuclear energy for ASEAN's member states under the Treaty of the Southeast Asia Nuclear Free Zones and the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. So there is one question can be asked that how long the establishment of peace regimes on Korean Peninsula can last and which factor could contribute to support it. For instance, under President Moon Jae-in's administrations, the South Korean government spared no effort in calling for unification between the two Koreas and pushed for numerous initiatives such as exchange of perceptions, exchange of goods and products, and people-to-people exchange in hope that these initiatives and actions could encourage more confidence building and cement the denuclearization process. However, these initiatives are not contributing much to the denuclearization and peace process in the Korean Peninsula, yet it further strengthened North Korean leaders' legitimacy and survival. Yes.
Thank you. My last question is from your perspective, is it possible for the two Koreas to be reunified?
So we know that our former Prime Minister, Sambadich Hun Sen, also proposed the establishment of the people, cultural, and the economic corridor between the two Koreas to promote peace and confidence building in 2022. This initiative could inspire negotiations and peace building for the regional stabilities. If unification is possible, it could have significant implications for regional stabilities. And for example, the scenario is that Washington support the peaceful reunification of the two Koreas based on democracies and a market economy. However, some analysts believe that South Korea may be abandon the US-Korea alliance and assume neutrality to accommodate China foreign policy preference, something like that. And peace and denuclearization cannot be achieved quickly. It takes time, and it will likely to unfold in phases across multiple US administrations. The agreed framework then six-party talks failed due to inability to overcome setbacks through the negotiation process. Diplomatic engagement is essential for addressing deeply rooted causes of the conflict, dealing with the conflict issues between North and South Korea. So failure to engage Pyongyang in dialogue could risk further isolating the regimes, entrenching its nuclear ambitions, and exacerbated a vicious cycle of military tensions in the regions. So, besides government-to-government efforts, there is one key international organization called the Universal Peace Federation, which was founded in 2005 by Mr. Son Yong-moon and his wife. It's a key international organization promoting peaceful reunifications on the Korean Peninsula with over 50,000 diplomats, clergy, and civic leaders. The organization also promotes UN's Sustainable Development Goals and offers insights for improved relations across the country in the world. So the UPF conducts the conference and forum to consider political, military, economics, and civil society factors, including tourism, humanitarian projects, and personal engagement to support the reunification process. So henceforth, peace on the Korean Peninsula requires constant build momentum and trust through pragmatic, acceptable measures and avoid making concessions that cannot reverse if someone, either North or South Korea, violate an agreement. Therefore, maximalist demand from either side, such as a complete unilateral denuclearization or complete relief from the economics and financial sanctions, will be unproductive. Instead, negotiators should build trust and momentum early by targeting low-hanging fruit measures that are reversible or less sensitive. An interim agreement committing North Korea to denuclearize and freezing nuclear and missile activities in exchange for security guarantee such as partial sanctions, relief, modified joint military exercise, moratoriums on U.S. strategic assets deployments to the peninsula, and an envoy declaration can be implemented as trust built along the time gradually. So alternatively, people-to-people exchange or engagement such as academic, cultural, sport, health, and humanitarian related exchange can over time have strengthened mutual trust between the two Koreas. So people-to-people initiative could help build a mutual confidence leading up to and as well as the peace negotiation, also the reunifications. So lastly, substantive lower level contacts may also help enhance broader domestic support for peace in each country and reinforce the political conditions conducive to progress on the diplomatic tracks.
Thank you so much, Mr. David, for your insightful sharing on our topic on the current situation of the Korean Peninsula. And our discussion now has come to an end. Thank you once again for participating in our discussion. And thank you so much, and see you again in the next episode.